All right, so get this. Today we're going deep, way back in time, like ancient Babylon deep.
Babylon, huh? That's going way back.
Yeah, we're talking about The Richest Man in Babylon. That book, full of financial advice and stuff.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one. Classic, isn't it?
Totally. And the cool thing is, it's all set in ancient Babylon, a civilization known for, well, being really rich.
Makes sense. They must have known a thing or two about money.
Right. So we're gonna, unearth some secrets about building wealth from these guys who really knew their stuff.
I like it. A deep dive into ancient money secrets. This is gonna be good.
So picture this. You're a chariot maker, right? Super skilled, the best in Babylon.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
But there's a catch. You're struggling financially, can't seem to make ends meet, and your name is Banzir.
Banzir the chariot maker, got it.
Right, and you've got this buddy, Kobe, a musician, also talented, also broke.
Ah, the classic struggling artist trope, even in ancient Babylon.
Exactly. So Banzir and Kobe, they decide to seek advice from their friend, Arkad.
Arkad, wait, is he?
The richest man in Babylon, that's him.
Okay, so they're going straight to the top for advice. I like their style.
And this Arkad guy, he started from nothing, built his fortune from scratch.
Now that's a story I want to hear.
He shares his secrets through stories, like parables, And his first principle, pay yourself first.
Pay yourself first. What's that all about?
Well, it's not just like, oh, leftover change at the end of the month. It's different.
Oh, okay, so how does it work?
Arkad says, set aside 10% right off the top, before anything else.
2%. Whoa, that's a big chunk. Are you sure about that?
Yep, 10% before rent, food, everything.
Did people in ancient Babylon really have that kind of discipline? I could barely resist online shopping.
I know, right? But that's the point. It forces you to prioritize your future self. Like, you're worth it.
Yeah, putting yourself first financially. Interesting concept.
It's like investing in your future wealth, saying, hey, I'm important, my future matters.
I like that, but did Arkad say how to actually grow that money? You can't just, bury it in the backyard, right?
Exactly. That's the second principle. Make your money work for you.
Oh, okay, so how do you make money work for you in ancient Babylon?
Well, it's about investing it, putting it into things that will grow and generate more income.
I see, so not just hoarding it, but making it multiply. But what did they invest in back then? Chariot companies.
Not quite, but the idea is the same. Investing in assets that appreciate in value or generate income.
Right, so even back then, they knew the difference between spending on, fancy clothes and investing in something lasting.
Exactly. It's about long-term thinking, building a solid financial foundation.
That makes sense, but how do you know what to invest in? Was there, a Babylonian stock market?
Good question. And that leads us to Arkad's third rule, seek expert advice.
So don't just wing it. Talk to someone who knows their stuff.
Yeah, just like you wouldn't trust just anyone to fix your chariot. You wouldn't trust just anyone with your money.
Makes sense. You want someone who knows the ins and outs of the Babylonian economy, right?
Exactly. Someone with experience and expertise to help you make informed choices.
Okay, so find a trustworthy advisor. Got it. But what about those get-rich-quick schemes? Were those around back then too?
Oh, you bet. They've probably been around forever. And that brings us to Arkad's fourth rule.
Oh, let me guess. Don't fall for get-rich-quick schemes.
Close. It's invest in what you understand.
Okay, so do your research. Don't just jump into something blindly.
Exactly. There's this story in the book about this guy, John.
Oh no, what did John do?
He lost all his savings, went all in on some investment he didn't understand. Classic mistake.
Ouch, poor John. Sounds like a tough lesson to learn.
It is, but it highlights the importance of knowledge. You got to understand what you're putting your money into.
Yeah, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to money.
So no blindly following the crowd or the latest fad. Got it. What else did Arkad have to say?
Well, this one might seem obvious, but it's still so relevant today.
Yeah.
Ready for it?
Hit me with it.
Arkad's fifth rule is, drumroll please, avoid get-rich-quick schemes.
Okay, that one is pretty straightforward. Even I could have guessed that one.
Right. But it's so easy to fall for that temptation, the promise of instant riches.
It's like those too good to be true offers you see online all the time.
Exactly. Arkad knew that building wealth takes time, patience, and a long-term vision.
So it's a marathon, not a sprint. Got it. But what about our friend John? Did he learn his lesson?
Well, unfortunately, John, he didn't quite get the memo. He ended up gambling, trying to win back his losses quickly.
Oh, John, no, not gambling. That's never a good idea.
It's a classic trap, that desperation to recover losses fast, but it usually backfires.
So slow and steady wins the race, huh?
Exactly. Arkad believed in consistent growth, like building a house, brick by brick.
Okay, that makes sense. So to recap, Arcad's 5 rules are: pay yourself first, make your money work for you, seek expert advice, invest in what you understand, and avoid those shiny get-rich-quick schemes.
You got it. Those ancient Babylonians, they were pretty smart, huh?
Seriously, their advice is still solid even today. It's amazing how it transcends time.
It's like human nature and money. Those things never really change, do they?
That's a good point. So we've got these 5 timeless rules, but how do they actually apply in our modern world? Like, would Arcad be investing in cryptocurrency if he were around today?
Ooh, good question. That's a deep dive for another time, but it's definitely worth exploring.
All right, so stay tuned, folks. We're just getting started on this ancient money adventure.
It really makes you wonder, though, like how Arcad would handle things today.
Yeah, would he be all over, like, Bitcoin and stuff?
Right. Would he be like a crypto king? I don't know.
Maybe, but remember, he was all about understanding your investments, right?
True. He wouldn't just jump on the bandwagon. He'd want to know what it's all about.
Exactly. So maybe he'd be cautiously optimistic about crypto, after really learning how it all works.
Yeah, probably. He'd see the potential, but also the risks. Like with any investment.
Right. After all, people have always been kind of crazy about money, no matter the time period.
Totally. Like those stories about tulip mania and stuff reminds me of some of the crypto craze today.
Yeah, good point. Speaking of crazy decisions, what about our friend John? We left him in a pretty bad place.
Oh yeah, John, poor guy. Well, things went from bad to worse for him.
What do you mean? What happened?
He ended up a slave, lost everything.
Whoa, seriously? A slave. That's rough.
Yeah, it's a reminder that, bad financial choices can have serious consequences.
So sure, it's not just about losing money. It can impact your whole life.
Exactly, but there's a twist in John's story. Even as a slave, he learned something important.
Well, like how to pick locks or something?
No, he meets another slave he's like a mini Arcad, embodies those same principles.
So even in that situation, he's learning about financial wisdom.
Yeah, it's like those principles, they can help you no matter what. Even if you hit rock bottom.
Wow. Okay, that's actually pretty inspiring. You can always turn things around.
Exactly. It's never too late. But, earlier you mentioned something interesting.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
You said the book isn't just about getting rich, right? There's more to it.
Right. There's this deeper layer about, like, using your wealth wisely.
Yes. Arcad believed that real wealth wasn't just about money, but about benefiting your community, too.
Okay, so, like, giving back. Philanthropy and stuff.
Exactly. He invested in public works, helped those less fortunate, believed in sharing his wealth.
So it's not just about hoarding gold, it's about using it to make a difference.
Right. It's about creating a better society, a more prosperous community for everyone.
That's actually a really cool idea. I never thought about it that way.
It's like taking care of your community is also taking care of yourself in the long run.
It makes sense, but wouldn't that contradict his advice about paying yourself first?
Not really. It's about finding a balance. Generosity isn't a drain, it's an investment.
An investment in, like, the well-being of everyone around you.
Exactly. It's about seeing the bigger picture, understanding that true wealth is about more than just your own bank account.
Wow. That's actually really profound. I'm starting to see this book in a whole new light.
It's really about, like, creating a ripple effect. Your wealth can benefit others and ultimately come back to you.
Okay, so we've got these 5 rules for building wealth, plus this idea of social responsibility. It's pretty amazing.
It's like a holistic approach to wealth, both personal and societal.
I like that. So as we wrap up our deep dive into The Richest Man in Babylon, what's the one key takeaway for our listeners?
It's like the foundation, You got to make sure it's strong before you build anything else.
Right. Get your finances in order first.
Exactly. And sometimes that means, dealing with debt before you can really start saving.
Yeah, debt can feel like a huge roadblock for a lot of people.
It can be, for sure, but remember, even Arcad talked about debt. It's not a new problem.
Oh, really? What did he say about it?
Well, he emphasized that, getting out of debt is like freeing yourself up. It's the first step to building real wealth.
So it's like getting rid of that burden so you can actually start moving forward.
Exactly. It's like, remember John, even as a slave, he started applying those principles step by step.
So even in a tough spot, you can still make progress.
Absolutely. It's about taking control, making a plan. Even small changes can make a difference.
Okay, so where does paying yourself first fit in with all this? Should you even try to save when you're in debt?
That's a good question, and it's more about the mindset, Even a little bit, it shows you're prioritizing your future.
So even if it's just a few dollars a week, it still matters.
It does. It reinforces that habit, that commitment to yourself. And as you pay down debt, you can save more.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like building that momentum.
Exactly. And once that debt is gone, you're in a much better position to really build wealth.
Right, you've got that solid base, no more chains holding you back.
You're free to pursue those bigger goals like buying a house, investing, whatever you dream of.
It's like you've leveled up financially, you know?
Yeah.
Ready for the next challenge.
Exactly. And remember, it all started with those ancient principles. Pretty amazing, huh?
Seriously, The Richest Man in Babylon, it's more than just a book, it's like a guide to financial freedom.
Timeless wisdom, applicable to anyone no matter where you're starting from.
I love that. So to all our listeners out there, remember Arkad's advice. Pay yourself first, make your money work for you, seek expert advice, invest in what you understand, avoid those get-rich-quick traps, and remember, true wealth is about more than just money, it's about building a life you love.
And sharing that prosperity with others, creating a better world for everyone.
Well said. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep into those timeless truths.